we're conservative people. I mean, we believe in family, okay, work, buying a house, religion, and on Sundays, all we want is our carne asada. Don't bother us, right? You just want to be. We want to be with our kids.
Sunday after church, we get that grill going with the asada.
Yeah, even in the wintertime, we get the grill going.
Be that CHICAG.
Here we go. Raise your glasses if you're ready to go.
I'll introduce a good friend of mine and restaurateur, Sam Sanchez. Sam, thank you. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Mike Talk. I'm your host, Michael Gutierrez. Thanks for hanging out. You know, in my type of work, you get out there and you meet so many people. As a realtor and a youth mentor, you're just all over the city. And you come across some amazing people that you end up finding out that they're the owners of our favorite restaurants and places that we go watch the Cubbies at, right? And so today, without further ado, let me introduce a good friend of mine and restaurateur, Sam Sanchez. Sam,
Mike,
thank you for being here today with us.
No, thanks for making the time. Appreciate it.
Yeah. I mean, last time we hung out, it was at the Old Crow, right?
Yep.
The Old Crow Smokehouse.
Yes.
And we were talking about what was about to happen with the new mayor, right? And we were getting this new mayor coming up, and boy, that was a heavy topic. And then
it is.
And so. Fast forward, I know some people did see it, and for those of you who didn't catch it, go back and check it out on my Mike Talk episode. But we were talking about everything that was happening in the city of Chicago. The new mayor was about to be elected. You had different nominees or different candidates, right, that were there. Sam, you've been in the midst of all of this, from restaurants to politics.
All I wanted to do was run a restaurant. That's all I want to do.
How did we get to this?
You get involved. You get involved. Neighborhood communities, associations, and you just keep. The more you pick it, it's just the blocks start falling apart. They start uncovering a lot of the backseat on the politics that had to be, fixed.
Sure.
And I've been lucky enough and blessed to be able to give them that opportunity to go in there and advocate. I got elected officials calling me, asking me for help. And in exchange, I said, well, we have to make sure that we look at good legislation. And I always said this: if you want good legislation, you got to win elections. And our last interview, you're right. The mayor's elected, and I would never say anything bad about the mayor. We want the mayor to do great. Everybody wants their elected official, president, mayor, governor.
You're there to govern over the people, man. I'm yes, we don't want you to fail.
No, definitely. No, we don't want them to fail. But he's got his opportunity, and he's doing what he thinks is right, and you got to respect that. I don't agree with the policies.
Sure.
And this is where we get involved. So we're in politics. So we started Lincoln Park. I started with John Barleycorn on Lincoln Park.
Yeah. So I was going to say, like you're in politics, but you own places that we have gone and hung out. John Barleycorn. Moe's Cantina 1 and 2.
Yep.
And Treehouse, which I got to interview a good friend of mine there, Justin Roman.
Oh, right? Yeah. No, I love Justin. Yeah, it was great.
we had a good conversation
father.
there. Great dad. Yeah,
great dad.
And then you have also your daughter has a place in Pilsen, right?
Yeah, definitely. She has La Luna in Pilsen, and she's opening another one in Logan Square. Wow. So that's her restaurants.
Sure.
She's not in politics. She doesn't like you. Why are you in politics? You're hurting me. I'm like, I'm sorry, but she's not in politics. I'm in politics. My businesses are separate from hers. I support her. Of course, it's my daughter. I'm going to help her out.
Of course.
I go and do a little carpentry work here and there.
Yeah.
And she's a hard boss.
She's tougher than you.
Yeah. She told me it's got to look nice. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
She
imagine.
So through my career, Alderman Vi Daly back then from the 43rd Ward invited me to a city council, a committee hearing on a promoter's license, and back then Alderman was it? I can't remember. It was a 42nd Ward. Bernie, I forgot his name. Sorry,
Bernie Madoff.
No. Right. So the other man, they didn't know what a promoter was back then, so I explained it to them. That's how I got involved. They opened the door and I said, "Hey, this is interesting." They're willing to listen, and that's how we got involved. So now then it went state, now it's national. So I chaired the Illinois Restaurant Association.
Yeah, I remember that.
2 years, one pandemic, one post-pandemic. and then now I'm on the National Restaurant Association on the board. I'm pretty loud. They don't agree with me.
Yeah.
And they wanted to have a Mexican on the board, but they wanted a Mexican that didn't speak loud.
Yeah, wanted to say just okay. See.
I'm a little bit too loud for them. So
no,
that's
see,
the way it is.
no.
Yeah, they're not gonna get that from me.
Well, that's good because a lot of times you get these boards and it's like it's better when you have opposition because hey, we need tension here. We want to hear both sides, and I think that takes me to what you fight for, right? You fight for bipartisanship. This is something that you see. The pendulum swings tremendously in the city of Chicago. It's either right, left, and it's just like no in between.
There's not.
How are you moving on with your career and also being involved? Now you just got back from the White House too, right?
Yeah. So I spent time in D.C. a lot of time in D.C. and this is all volunteer. So
Sure.
and many people like myself. I'm not the only person. I mean, there's a lot of us that pay for our own hotels, our own meals.
Sure.
And we invite people for meal. We're picking up tabs all over the place where people can't afford it. We got a lot. We have a DACA and DACA recipient that travel with us, and and they can't afford it. So look. They deserve it. We've been blessed. We got to share it. So we're out there. We're out there advocating. I'm really excited because I just got back from Puerto Rico a day before yesterday, and it's a long flight. But Puerto Rico's such a need of energy and electricity, and that's what we're doing. We're building a factory out there. So from restaurant to renewable energy, we're building a factory. We're going to be manufacturing over 1.6 million panels for Puerto Rico. So we're excited. We're excited. So being in D.C., meet all these people. So it's been good. It's been good. But let's not lose focus on the immigration because that is so important. People tell me, were you born in Mexico? A lot because my first language was Spanish. No, I was born in Chicago. My mom was born in Chicago. My grandfather on my mother's side came here in 1918, moved into Bridgeport. 9 brothers, and between the 3 brothers, 31 cousins all together. So they cut their own territory in Bridgeport, right?
Yeah.
So they made it easy for us. Made friends with the daily, made friends with the whole community in Bridgeport. We've been around for a long time. But I grew up in Mexico. My dad was blessed to go to Mexico, and so we grew up in Mexico, north side of Mexico.
So you were born in Chicago and then raised in Mexico.
Yeah, what a great experience.
Wow,
farm, ranching, cowboy, cattle, tractors, agriculture, and then we're not too far from the border. So my brother and I used to ditch high school and used to take the bus to Laredo, Texas, and watch a movie. That's where I saw Bambi.
Wow, look at that.
So we're very familiar with immigration, border. We've seen a lot of people come and go, and we're right through the ranches. That's where everybody walks by. So we see a lot of people suffer. So employees,
That's what I was going to get to.
So you see a lot of suffering.
You have a lot of employees, right? And throughout your restaurants, how's that tension been happening? Have you had any ICE visitors?
No, in 37 years, we're up to almost 15,000 W-2 forms. How many people have worked for you? Close to 15,000 people in my life, and 37 years in business, and a lot of part-time workers, a lot of college students, a lot of back of the house. A lot of people come from all different countries. And let's say majority back then was all Mexico. Sure. Now we got Guatemala and Salvador. We got everybody coming in, right?
True.
But they've been here. They also been here for 10, 15, 20 years, and some own their kids serve in the military. Some have kids that are American citizens, and some are married to American citizens. Yeah. So it's a tough life, right? So and they're good citizens. Good residents.
Sure.
They pay taxes, they buy a house, they open a business, and I know many of them that own business, which is really crazy. They're like, you don't have a Social Security. Well, you don't need a Social Security to open a business.
Well, you're buying houses with ITINs.
No, but you don't need a Social Security number to open a company and hire union employees. And this happens all the time. So you get an IBT number and you open your company, you start paying taxes. But so throughout these years, and it's been a little struggle here with the immigration. One is that the last time something passed was over 40 years in 1986 by President Ronald Reagan, and we haven't seen anything. The Mexican community was very upset with the new migration that came across the border. And as much as we support the humanitarian crisis, it says we got left out, and there's resentment there. Nobody was thinking about the Mexicans. I said it many times, and President Biden, the White House, was upset with myself personally because we said that President Biden had a blind spot for Mexicans. So we went to D.C. and there was an article on New York Times, and they said, no, Sam can come into the White House because of his comments on the New York Times. I'm like, okay, so I went to see Homeland Security. So we move around.
Sam's just going to be like, no manches.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're right. I mean, you know what? I mean, listen.
They expected you to be like, okay.
Yeah, no, we keep advocating. We're not combatant. We're not standing outside with signs. We're very professional. Sure. I mean, we're all entrepreneurs, business owners who travel together. I mean, we just got back from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Nice.
And with the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and the Renewable Energy, because we're doing renewable energy. So we got a couple of DACA recipients that go there and meet some and recruit more business owners.
Wow.
And as recruiting business owners, we're meeting who's closer to President Trump, who's close to the White House, the administration, who's going to get us in. And we met with on March 26th, we met with 126 legislators, not staffers, legislators. Now I'm talking about senators in Congress on both sides, over 71 or 76 of Republicans and 46, something like that, and the Democrats. None of them disagreed. They all believe that the Dreamers should be here. And on December 22nd, President Trump on Meet the Press said that the Dreamers should be here. And these are strong statements from the President of the United States, right?
Right.
And then on March 26th, we were down on our fly-in, and we're there for 4 days. There's 300 business owners and some DACA, a lot of people that support, and really very respectful, no screaming, no yelling, no calling out names.
Yeah, that's crazy.
We didn't call anybody racist. We didn't call anybody MAGA. We didn't call anybody lefty. So we're here together. We're a bipartisan. I got my personal.
I never heard that one.
I got my personal opinions on some of this stuff, right?
I know.
Yeah, and I don't agree 100% with either side of the with the Republicans or the
Yeah.
Democrats, right? Because, I mean, you have to have this agreement.
And that's the beauty of the country, right? Like even growing up, right? It's like you guys have your views, we have ours. Our context, our community, our culture is how we or what we know, right? When we get to the booth.
Yeah.
Right. And so.
And Mike, and I'm sorry to interrupt you because
No,
I
it's
just
okay.
want to get this out because this is important to understand our work, what we're doing here. After our flight in, we know that President Trump made a statement on the Dreamers, right? So we're banking on that, and that's what we keep posting. That's what we keep reminding him and his administration that he said this. Okay, we said it's going to take us a year to get essential workers, work visas for undocumented that have been here for years who have not committed a violent crime.
Okay.
Not that. It took a week. He comes out of nowhere. Boom.
Done.
I'm like, wow. I mean, I was like, what am I going to do now? I'm out of a job.
Do I got to go to a restaurant?
I'm out of a job. No, so he said, he talked about work visas for long-term migrants that have no violent crime, and they had to go through legislation. This is not an executive order issue. It had to go through legislation. And then a week later, he did an interview on Fox Noticias, and he said, good people who've been here and married to American citizens, they should be here too. So his comments, you have to keep those statements alive and keep pushing
keep
them.
them accountable to that,
So I get, some people when you read the headlines on the article in the Chicago Tribune and says, Latino supported Trump. I'm like, no, turn the page, read it. There's a story behind here. Why?
Exactly.
It's not, you don't see me wearing a MAGA hat, which you never will.
Yeah.
Okay? I'm a bipartisan. I'm right in the middle of the road. I'm the 11th Ward Democrat. I've been voting Democrat since I was 18 years old from the 11th Ward. Okay? Like I said, my mom had 30 cousins, and that's one rule they had: you vote Democrat. And if you live, that was a Daley's ward.
That's how we were raised. Yeah,
that was a raised. So I was fine with that, except that we turned around and said, listen, we call it el voto de castigo. That means this is the vote we're going to punish the Democrats. Because in the past two administrations, they forgot about us. And they welcome everybody else.
And I wanted to bring that, bro, because I feel like I hate to use that term. I think that the Democrat we grew up with is not the Democrat today.
No, it's not. It's not.
Right?
Yeah, it's different. Listen, I respect people's opinion.
For sure. For sure.
But I'm going to go as a Mexican. I always say Mexican. Like, why don't you say all Latinos? Because if I was Guatemalan, I say Guatemalan and Latinos.
True.
I'm Mexican. I'm always going to represent Mexican and Latinos. Okay.
Sure.
And Hispanics. Okay. So we're conservative people. We believe in family. Okay. Work, buying a house. religion, and on Sundays, all we want is our carne asada. Don't bother us, right? You just doesn't want to be. We want to be with our kids.
Sunday after
with the
church,
wives.
we get that grilled one with the asada.
Yeah, even in the wintertime, we get the grill going.
My neighbor was 24 degrees, and I saw. He's like, "Man, it's been the first warm day all week." I'm like, well, "You are a Chicagoan."
Yeah, and I mean, So I turn around and I said, listen, he goes, I get a lot of attacks on social media, boycotting my restaurants. And,
Interesting.
But
I was going to ask that too.
So,
How does that affect? Okay,
it has not. You know what? It has not. I mean,
Awesome.
but it does hurt.
Yeah,
It hurts
of
because
course.
I'm like, so I don't engage in social media, but I do send them private messages with some links. I said, listen, I'm not asking you to take down your post. I would never ask anybody to take down their post, as long as they're not talking about my daughter. I don't ask you to think differently about me. What I'm asking is to read a little bit. Read a little bit about what we're doing here, and just read a little bit, and then and support us. I mean, help us get in legislation, common sense legislation passed. So CEO Jamie Dimon from J.B. Morgan Chase, just made a huge statement. I mean, he was opposed to the tariffs. Now he supports the tariffs. He said, well, maybe this is going to work. It's a very big. He thought it was too large to make it work. Right? It was too large to make it work. Now he thinks, okay, maybe it could work. Right? We're starting to see some changes. But one of the most interesting statements, which I posted on my X account. My X account is more political and business. But his comment that he really believed that President Trump could be the immigration reform president.
Wow.
And you know what? So
a big statement.
It is a big statement. And this has been my statement because, I mean, as a business owner, we add numbers. That's what we do. We do numbers. And President Trump is a number guy. And he knows that if he wants to win the House again and he wants to win the midterm election, you're going to add numbers, and you can't do it if you discredit the Mexican and the Latino votes. And right now is a very vulnerable vote. My statement across every interview, I would always tell people that our vote, and I'm telling everybody, our vote does not belong to the Democrat. It doesn't belong to the Republican. It will belong to those who treat us properly, who treat us with respect, and appreciate what we deliver to this country. Yeah. I mean, my family was removed from this country. My great grandfather's father from Avenida, Texas, and Zapata, Texas, 1840. I mean, there were landholders in 1840, and that was, before the taxes and all that. But back then, peso and a dollar was the same value. So they were pushed across the River Grande, and that's fine. I mean, we're here now. We're not looking for any representation. We're not looking for anything. Okay, just let us work.
Just let us work.
That's
crazy, right?
Let us work.
Yeah, we're not asking for anything, but just give us the freedom that
let us work. Let us work. Let us raise our family. So I mean, there is a lot of work to be done here. I mean, our Comité de 100. I mean, if you go to comitede100.com, and we're on Instagram, the Comité de 100.
We'll put that. Make sure we put that on there.
Thank you, appreciate that. And ABIC, American Business Immigration Coalition. I mean, very big foundation. I mean, we're in 37 states. ABIC's in 27 states. 1,700 business owners, big entrepreneurs. I mean, so we have state senators that participate on ABIC. The previous owner of the Washington Post, big supporters. Previous owners of the Washington Post. He paid for over 600 DACA recipients' college tuition out of his pocket. There's so much we do that goes unnoticed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody's looking for recognition, but there's a lot of good effort out there.
But do you see this administration pushing your agenda a little bit faster or a little bit more aggressive, even if they haven't passed it yet? Are they a bit more aggressive than the last attempt?
So I hate talking about it, but we got Obama promises immigration reform. Boom, nothing, right? We had Bush. Bush had something in 2006, and
something like
that failed on the big walkout in California when all the schools walked out, and it just fell apart, right? They were very close to passing something, and then it was really hard after 9/11, and you notice. The emergency of security, still 20 years, Real ID just kicked in. 20 years later. So there's
They were
priorities.
talking about that for a long time.
Right, 20 years. I got my Real ID a long time ago, and everybody's like, well, I got to wait in line. I'm like.
But you still have a pass. You can still use it with a passport, right?
They have everything. I mean, I travel a lot, so
You
so
do. But you have that thing where you could just pass instead of the TSA
you get
thing.
your eyes and everything. I'm like, what about you? Are you not worried? What do I have to hide? Look under the hood. You know what you're gonna find is a big heart, big Christian heart. That's it,
man. That's it.
So yes. So the shore flying. I mean, one of the statements he made is that he was going to slow down deportations on hospitality and farm workers. You know, that's a big thing.
That's a huge
thing. It's a huge statement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Farm?
It's a huge statement. So we saw some raids, and I mean, we haven't seen raids in Russia. I mean, they're all direct direct orders for detain or deportation.
Oh, yes.
And then some collateral. But in D.C., they did walk into about 3 restaurants, and which they didn't let them in. But then people get hurt like that. So we're looking into it. Like, why? Why are you doing these raids? So they're going to get $175 billion for immigration enforcement. We're worried. Everybody's worried. There is 1.4 million deportation orders. That means they've been to court.
Wow.
They've been to court.
Yeah.
They had their due process. But some of them really are really good people, but they had their due process. What do we do? Do we ignore due process? I mean, I guess you could. I don't know. I'm lost there.
I guess the question is, so a friend of ours has a business. They took an employee that's been there 6 years, and you know, the owner was like, "I've been telling you since I hired you to get these things in order, and you didn't. In fact, he got a DUI, and then all
that's
that.
the problem.
And so it's like, okay, you didn't. So I guess what is the, like, how do you deal with that, right? Is that due process, or their due process passed because they had plenty of time to do it? So how do we address that kind of issue?
So a DUI is a deportation order. DUIs. I tell people, listen, I mean, we make sure that all our I-9s are in order. You got to make sure all your documentation in order, right? I mean, the government will go through and find out which one's real, which is not real. We're not documented. I mean, we struggle with IDs in the bars. Okay, they're very good documents. So we file, we report them to the government, and the government will. I mean, if they feel that there's something incorrect, they'll let us know, and then we will let the person know. And you know, if they don't have, if they made a mistake, I get it. But if it's not them, then we have to let them go. But I tell people, listen, you're gonna get a DUI. You're going to bring ICE into my building. And then people are going to be scrutinized. I'm going to get scrutinized. And then, you know, the I-9 forms are penalized not only if they're fake. No. If you made a mistake, even if they're real, and you make just a clerical mistake, you get penalized on that. Yeah. So I don't want them in my office.
That's
and let me know, this is nothing new. Was it 1993? I had a immigration in my restaurant, and went through all the documents. And back then, it was a lot different. Back then, you were allowed to make copies of the driver's license, copy of the social security card, copy of the passport card.
Now you can't?
No. So you used to hold. I mean, we have books and books,
days,
right? Yeah. So when they came in, they said, listen, and I said, we need to see all your documentation. We're going to give you, I think it was a Monday, so we'll give you the Thursday, have it everything ready. So we spent, let's just putting all the folders together, because you keep employee files. So we put them all in a binder for them, right? Everything in a binder, so they can flip through it. They came in, they went through them, they found one, they said, listen, this doesn't match our system. We went, they took it, came back, said, we got one, doesn't match our system. I'm like, okay, no problem. So we just had to let the person go. And but so we bench it, so we know. And now, if you have anything, you're only required to keep it 3 years. So if you're keeping it more than 3 years and there's clerical errors, you're going to get dinged for those. If you're in business for 37 years, everything's for 37 years. There's no statute of limitation in here. And so you have to be careful. I mean, you have to follow the law. Listen to me, and you've seen it. I mean, during the Cook County State Attorney race, I admire Kim Fox. I think where she went to Cabrini Green. She graduated lawyer. I mean, what a tremendous effort.
Accomplishment.
There's an accomplishment of winning an election and going to school, right? I give her a lot of credit. Then I agree with her policies. But it doesn't make her a bad person. It doesn't make me a bad person. So we lost the first campaign when she won her second election. And let me tell you, her first election, her victory party was at Moe's Cantina. 800 people were there, and I in-kind all that. So I like people.
Wow.
I just don't like policies. And if I don't like policies, I have a right to say I don't like the policies. So now Lena Neal Burke ran, and we won. We won the election. And we'll see where the state, where the rest of our elected officials take us. I mean, I think the voice is being heard. One of the things that I always hear from elected officials and from business, I go, but Mexicans don't vote.
That's true. I mean, I don't say it's true. It's true that we've heard that.
Yeah,
it's true that we've heard that.
But I got to tell you something. We put Trump in office. And it was the Mexican vote that put Trump off. And the black vote. It was a minority vote that put him in office. And we're telling them, listen, we need immigration reform, okay? We need jobs, okay? We need we need insurance. We need something. We're demanding. We want something. And if he doesn't deliver, because I guess we're voting for someone else in the next election.
Yeah, and that's what voting is for.
And that's what voting is for.
That's the beauty of this country, right? Yeah. And so I think, and before we land the plane, Sam, what I wanted to ask you is, now with Mayor Johnson, I'm seeing a lot of these restaurants. I mean, we've been seeing them getting broken into, and it sucks. Yeah. Like, in fact, I have a friend who owns a cafe. 3 times they've broken into her cafe, and it's like, what is on the local side that you guys are pushing for to get? Because you're a recipient of these burglaries.
Yeah. So people are being prosecuted now, but we have to catch them. And for us to catch them, we have to allow the police to do their job. And the police still got their hands tight. Okay. And so very strong left progressive ideology here, and we have to change that. And the police, I mean, we see where police they're strapped. I mean, you can't chase, you can't run, and not only that, listen. If you're a police officer, you're about to retire. You've been 20 years in the job. You don't want to lose. You're gonna get sued. Yeah, you're gonna get sued. There's no protection for the police. Yeah. Just with the administration passed the two accomplishments that the mayor's administration passed was the elimination of tip credit, which they call sub-minimum wage, which is not. Okay, but that's. No, we could debate that, right? Yeah. And then PTO, which when Mayor Lori Lightfoot was in office, she asked us, can we do a 5-day PTO, that paid time off? I said, yeah. We supported it as the Illinois Restaurant Association. We support that. We supported the increase of minimum wage down in Springfield with the governor to $15. So we've been strong supporters and advocates of good policies for our employees. 10 days PTO. It's too much. I mean, you're talking about paying everybody without any medical records, without anybody being sick. We got to give you 10 days off. And everybody wants to take the 10 days. You know when? On New Year's Eve, on Christmas,
July,
on
4th of July.
I'm like, 4th of July. Yeah, I'm like, oh, man. So, no. So we struggle with that. And then the elimination of tip credit, we negotiated that easy off in 5 years. Yeah. Well, we lost 5,000 jobs. Wow. 5,000 jobs just in 1 year on the restaurant that has closed. I mean, Mario Ponce closed 3 restaurants, Bar Taquito. Yeah. I mean, and he blames it on the increased cost of labor and increased cost of goods. Yeah, okay? meat went up. So restaurants operated on nickels and dimes. Now it's nickels and pennies. Wow. So we just saw that D.C. is repealing the tip credit with the sub-minimum wage. Yeah. Let's just say it. I'm going to stay in that, but that's what they're calling it. You know, they're repealing it now. Michigan's repealing it. We're asking Chicago to repeal it. There's a lot of conversations on this. State wanted to eliminate it. We just won on the state. So we're holding it. I mean, but every day is a fight and a battle to survival in business. The one we created, there's over second largest employer in the state of Illinois. Over 564,000 employees work in the hospitality industry. Yeah. You know, and I'm going to talk about the hospitality industry. This is important, Mike. I know we got to go, and you got another guest. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity. For sure. But I chaired the association 1 year during the pandemic and 1 year post-pandemic. No one wanted to come back to work. When we were allowed to open 2 days a week or 3 days a week, 6 feet apart, and crazy.
I can't believe we lived in that life.
People I got spray bottles with alcohol spraying people. Like, get away from me! And
everybody,
I'm like, oh my God, God help us, please. You know who came back to work? The people that were not able to collect unemployment. You know who was not able to collect unemployment? People who didn't have their documents in order. That's right. Okay, I'm not saying they were illegal or but they were not able to collect unemployment for a reason. They got to work. Okay, so they came back to work, and they came back to work, and we opened our restaurant. And you know what they became? They were the back of the house. They became waiters. And now they became managers. Why? Because nobody knows. They were all collecting $1,000 a week on unemployment. They're in Florida. And some people didn't come back to Chicago. I mean, if I got $1,000 a week and I was 21 years old.
1,000, that's
I'd
$4
be in
grand a
Arizona.
month.
Yeah, I'd be in Florida. I mean, people were moving to Mexico. I mean, wherever it was COVID-free, right? Because by law, not that it was COVID-free.
Sure.
It was just COVID-free by law, right?
Sure.
So people were enjoying life. And that, you know what? God bless them. I'm glad they did. That's what it's there for, right?
Yeah.
And there was a boom because people had $1,000. People were spending a lot of money.
Yeah.
That money ran out, and then reality
And then
in.
reality hit.
But let's not forget, like I told the National Restaurant Association, that if it wasn't for those hardworking people that come from different countries, these restaurants would have never opened post-pandemic. And I know that because I chaired it for a whole year.
Sam, if anyone wants to jump in on your mission and help you out, whether it's opening a checkbook or knocking on doors with you or flying out, how can they find you? Where can they reach you?
You know, Mike, we're not asking for money from no one. All we're asking for participation. We're well funded, and the owners are, and us entrepreneurs are funding our own trips. We're not looking for financial help. We need for you to just listen, help us advocate, join our force, Comité de 100, or ABIC, American Business Immigration Coalition. And I'll send you the links on these. I mean, I hope you could post them.
We're gonna do
But the idea here is to be open-minded. I know that President Trump is not everybody's candidate. You know what? But he's the president, and let's get him to deliver.
That's it.
And if he could deliver, and then then he deserves a vote. And if he can't deliver, well, then we'll see who our next candidate is.
Yeah, that's it. Sam, thank you so much for your time.
Mike, thanks.
I appreciate it. I gotta stop by and visit.
I hope it made sense here.
Great sense. I think that's amazing. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Before we leave, we got a gift for you, though. I've been trying to remember to do this, and I'm like, you know what? I forgot. You just reminded me that.
Well, thank
It's
you
a
very
T-shirt
much.
for you, and hopefully you'll clean your rims for your car.
I know, Mike. I know, Mike. We come from my mom's a tailor and my uncle's a tailor. So if you say like, why he's always wearing a tie? It's just tailor family. And it's 939 North State Street. That's 3 years old. I was sitting on the sewing machine when my mom was sewing. I was eating Cheerios. What a great memory! Right by Oak Street Beach. Spent all my time there.
Old Crow Smokehouse, the two Moe's Cantina, and you can find Sam at one of those bouncing around. Oh, and Treehouse in River North.
Yeah,
All right.
tunnel too. I appreciate it.
You can go
and my
visit.
daughter La Luna.
And La Luna and Pilsen.
La
Until
Lunita
next
coming up.
time, La Lunita next time. Till next time, everybody. Mike the Realtor, Mike Gutierrez, Mike Talk. Peace out. Hey, thanks for joining us. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more episodes like this. And to follow me on other social media handles, click on the link tree in the description. Peace out.
Everybody's